What's up, guys? Shay Stevens here, PDGA number 77522, and today we're taking a look at the newest disc offered in the Fission blend, the Axiom Insanity. Let's get to it. Before we get to the video, please click that like button if you're enjoying the content. If you find yourself coming back often, make sure you're subscribed and click that notification bell. It really helps me out, and I try to post videos at least once a week. As always, thank you all for the support. So the Axiom Insanity is a really old friend of mine. It was one of the first distance drivers I picked up as I was converting to MVP to serve in that understable slot. It's got flight numbers of a speed of 9, a glide of 5, turn of negative 2.5, and a fade of 1.5. And I really like that fade on it just because the disc doesn't just turn and burn. I mean, you can force it down if you want to, but I like that fight out at the very end just to give you that nice panning shot. And the Insanity did that very well for me. It was actually my first tournament ace ever, hole 8 at Rutgers. And if you're familiar with the course, you might be saying, why the heck did you throw a driver on such a short hole? We played that tournament in the wake of Hurricane Sandy, and the tee pad was completely underwater, so I basically threw a standstill up against the wood frame to brace my foot, and just threw a bit of like a flip up to straight shot and drilled the basket for my first ever tournament ace for a whopping $45. That was the first tournament of a series, unfortunately, so the ace pot was just built up on that day, and I hit it, so still a cool memory. But over time, the Insanity did find its way out of my bag just because I beat in Fission Photons and eventually Fission Volts to the point where I felt they covered that line for me. And also, to be honest with you, I feel like the Insanity is MVP's favorite like guinea pig disc. I feel like it's always being experimented with, which is cool. You get it in different blends and such. But the consistency kind of fell off, in my opinion. Like the Eclipse Insanities that just came out recently, very overstable. I'm like hacking them over on Forehand at Glow Rouse, and they're fighting out really hard. And then you have from the Charlotte Am Worlds, the Great Prism Riot, the Prism Insanities. Those came out ridiculously understable. So just kind of over the years, I felt the Insanity kept getting tweaked here and there, and I like the fact that I can walk into a store and just grab an MVP disc and know what it's going to do. I don't feel that level of confidence quite yet in the Insanity. If we do see some consistency, moving forward, it may be a disc I revisit. But for now, I feel like those shots are covered for me in my bag by what I have. So the Insanity is not in my bag at this moment. But still, we got another disc in my favorite blend of plastic Fission. So I was really eager to grab one of these, head out to the field, and check it out. So let's see how it flies. So the Insanity is a good understable driver. 9 speed kind of bridges that gap between fairway and distance, but still very workable. I think a lot of players this will probably be your top end distance driver, just because that 9 speed doesn't demand too much from you, and it's very controllable. Hitting it nice and flat, you get a great turnover and ride, and it doesn't just turn and burn for you. You saw the one shot I hit through flat and put some air under it. Even fought back and got a good hyzer finish on it. Really like that. For anhyzer at my arm speed, wouldn't really use it for anhyzer. I also like throwing some like crazy big up and over. It just, it's already got that understability going at negative 2.5, so to hit it with more anhyzer. You saw I got it down pretty easy for a roller. The grass was pretty wet, though. It rained the day before, so rollers weren't really in the cards that day, but it was easy to get it down. It would probably, in better conditions, it would flip and, get a good S-roll out of it. Hitting hyzers, that's where this disc, I love it. Just a hyzer flip on this is great. It's just controllable, especially with that 1.5 fade, that you can hit it. And no, you can get it to just go to flat and it'll still finish. You don't have to worry about losing it. Very controllable if you want to flip and turn it over. Very predictable. So it's a great hyzer flip disc to learn on for a driver. It's just something that one point I really like that fade on, just because you don't have to worry about losing it, hitting it and flipping all the way over and then turning into a cut roller or whatever, or just turning and burning. That really helps hold the disc, so you can give it a good amount of angle, hit it hard, and get some great distance out of it. Those hyzer flips are going probably like 350 at least. I was just kind of using field markings to gauge where I was based on my bag, but definitely this disc was pumping out there, so getting a lot of bang for the buck. Still not going to make my bag. Again, I have a stupid amount of Fission Photons pre-flight number. You can ask Jason Worst about that. I sent him a video. But I think I have enough of those discs, and they cover that slot for me well enough. But moving forward in the future, if I sell or lose them or whatever, or if I just have to I play something where I have to grab a Fission Insanity, I know I can rely on this disc, especially for that hyzer flip shot. Really enjoy it. Forehands. This thing feels great. It's got a good amount of dome, but it still doesn't feel, it fills the hand nice, feels really good. And it's just, again, it's got that little bit, it's understable enough. I can hit it on some hyzers and it'll pop up and ride a bit. But I don't have to worry about really turning and burning it that much, because that 1.5 fade, does keep this disc, fighting back for me, which is something I really like in my forehand disc. So as an understable disc, it has that late stability to be very viable for forehands. I was very comfortable with it. So again, that's another tick in the column for it. It's staying on the rack. I'll work around with it a bit more in Fission. I also kind of want to see another run of it just to make sure it is consistent. If that's the case, I never know, it might make its way into my bag for something kind of like a longer understable shot. I'm currently using I either have a beat-in Volt or a beat-in Photon that covers it. But yeah, it's a great disc from MVP. I highly recommend you check it out. It's a great utility disc. I think everybody can find a use for. Slower arms, pretty much straight to hyzer. Your faster arms is kind of like your Mantis, for your Discraft guys. Just something you can hyzer flip, or you can get a right turning fade, or I'm sorry, a right turning flight out of with very little effort. So thank you to MVP for the Axiom Insanity and Fission. Definitely check out your retailers. I know Basket Bashers has some left, so if you're interested, hit them up. Their links are in the description below. As always, guys, if you have any questions for me, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. Take care. Thank you to my sponsors for all your disc golf needs. Check out Phoenix Discs and Basket Bashers Disc Golf.